Good morning. Good morning. It's Rochelle here with Dreaming English. It's my first time to go live, so a little nervous, but I was asked to go live by a few or a new number of my subscribers. So here I am going live for the first time. I decided when I thought about what to do for going live, I thought, well, I should have some sort of theme or some sort of thing to talk about. So a while ago, I think it was 2 months ago, I've asked all of you, what was your motivation for learning English? So I thought I would read some of those comments, and if you have questions or comments, you can put them inside of the chat. That would be awesome. I would love to be able to answer questions and see where people are coming from. So please put that in the chat. And let me see. So what I thought I would start out with was, so I had asked a question 2 months ago on what is your motivation for what is your motivation for learning English? And I got a lot of really good responses. Let me see. What is your motivation for learning English? And let me just click on this. I was looking for those responses and wasn't seeing them. So let's see what we have here. So let me read. One of them actually was a subscriber from Brazil, and I really like that one. So I pinned that particular one to the top, and so I'll read a number of these. And let's see. So it says it's Velma, and she's from Brazil. So hello, I'm Velma from Brazil, and my motivation to study and teach English is that it changes lives. I teach English in a private English course school, and I've been teaching for 16 years. I love the English language. It completely changed my life. I was born in a countryside poor family. When I was 12 years old, my parents moved to a ranch whose owner was an English teacher. He had his own school. Oh, okay. Good morning, Yorvi. Thank you for joining. It's evening there, opposite side of the planet. And actually, I was going to read your comment too for motivation for learning English as well. So if you have any questions, definitely put that, or any comments, put it in the chat, put your where you're coming from. And thank you, Yervi, for joining from Pakistan, I believe, right? So anyway, I was reading Velma's response for her learning English. So let's see. So she said that she went to go live on a ranch where the owner of the ranch was an English teacher. So I loved helping my parents and doing all the stuff around the house, such as planting tomatoes, taking care of sheep and goats. One day, the teacher, Dede, and I think that I'm saying that right, Dede, asked me whether or not I'd like to study in a school. And I told him it was a dream, but unfortunately my parents wouldn't be able to pay for that. Then he told me he would give me a scholarship since I was so dedicated with everything. Then I got started and studied really hard. I tried to be one of his best students because that was the only way I could pay him, and I did. When I was 17, my family and I moved downtown, and I got a job as a server in a restaurant, so like a waitress, a server. Once more, Teacher Dede was an important part of my life. Good morning, Rocky. This is not my story. I'm actually reading a story from Velma of her motivation for learning English, and which I asked everybody to comment on a couple months ago. And I thought she had a really good story about how she learned English and how it changed her lives, and she's now an English teacher. So any case, she became a servant at a restaurant, a server, and I think Dede had said that she should go to college to teach English. And again, it was something where she thought she was able to do that. So basically, Dede, again, was an important part of her life, and he suggested entering college to study English as a teacher. But again, I told him I didn't have money for that. He taught me it was possible to study at a university and pay just a small fee for that. So I gave up working at the restaurant and started my career. I must tell you, I was afraid of that, and I didn't have any experience, just the love of the language. And actually, I'm going to just make it so you guys can see this. I'm learning this new software called OBS, so you should be able to now see me, hopefully soon, in the corner, and you'll be able to see what I'm reading, because I forgot about that. So again, this is my first time going live. So let's see. Now you can see me, I think, in the corner. Okay, so anyway, what was I saying? So she decided to go to college, and she gave up working in the restaurant and started her career. She worked at many different schools, public and private. Then she finally got a chance to work where she is now, and she's been there for 9 years. I'm going to read again her words. I found out I made the right choice for my life. I feel complete doing that. And most of my students don't know a word in English when they first come to my classes. And then a little later, they're able to understand and communicate with others. I am trying to teach them that they're able to learn, that they just have to believe in themselves. So, and in closing, I love realizing I can change lives teaching English and can be an angel in someone's life, the same as Teacher Dede was to me. Thank him today. I thank him, and today I can communicate with anyone. I can meet wonderful people around the world and learn a lot with them. So, okay, so you can see me, that's good, and you can see what I'm reading. So I do want to make this interactive if possible. So if you have certain questions or comments, that would be awesome. Rocky, if you want to put where you're from, that would be awesome. I know that Yorvi is from Pakistan because he's commented many times that I've seen you, Rocky, but I have no idea where you're from, so put that in the chat. And if you have certain questions, then you can put that as well in the chat. That would be awesome. And if not, if I don't get that, then I thought I would read some more of these lovely comments. I have Gustavo. Oh, India. Okay, Rocky. I've spoken to a lot of people from India, so that's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us from India. Let's see. So I have Gustavo, who has, who's actually, I guess his name is Alfonso Gustavo, or Gustavo Alfonso, and I've been actually communicating with Gustavo for maybe 2 years. He is from Venezuela, and I actually met him on Hello Talk, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with that wonderful app, but it's a free app that you can get on your phone, and you can get language partners, find language partners from around the world. So Gustavo said to what is the motivation for learning English? These are his words. That's a great question. It's like a philosophical question, and it's pretty important because besides this, you're going to find the motivation you need to encourage you as long as you practice. However, my answer isn't complex at all. I just fall for American culture. I feel the feeling I experience when I can keep communicating with a Massachusettsian, that's not really a word, but basically somebody from Massachusetts, which is where I'm from. I live in Massachusetts in the United States, is totally exciting. So I answer in abstract. Is that it is too much motivating. It's really motivating to keep thinking one certain day, let me just press read more, I'll be able to have a totally fluent conversation with my dear Massachusettsian friend, or sometimes they will call us Bay Staters, Rochelle, and Sir Matt Lappin, and that's my father, which I'm not sure if you have seen him in some videos, but he likes to play his banjo or guitar and sing songs. That's what he does all day long. So sometimes I can even hear him, especially during this whole pandemic. A little bit about me. I have 2 children. I have my 11-year-old Kat, who you might have seen in videos. She was the one that had this idea to go on YouTube, something I never wanted to do. I really didn't want to be on camera, but now here I am. And my 18-year-old son now, he is just graduated college. I'm very proud of him. He's going to go to engineering school to Northeastern University. And I'm very proud to say that he graduated top of his class. So I just wanted to share that as well because I'm a proud mom. So mom of 2, and my father lives with me. He helps me drive the kids around. So during the pandemic, was a lot of listening to my father because the house, you can hear his guitar going everywhere. So let's see, I have, and I will apologize right now if I say anybody's name wrong, but I think it's Ashok, and let's see, good evening. It's good morning for me, but good evening to you. Could you let me know where you're from? So let me know in the comments where you're from. I know Rocky's from India, and Yurvi, that already commented, is from Pakistan. So you saw my son on the video. Did you see his his speech. He was valedictorian. I can't help say that. He didn't want me to know. He says I make too much of a big thing of these things. And I didn't find out until a week before graduation when he had a bike accident. He's okay, but he fractured his ankle. And I called the school to see if we need some sort of special arrangements. I should have known he wouldn't need any. He's so strong. And the principal said, oh, he'll be fine. He's going to be sitting in the front row because he's going to be making a speech. And to that I said, what speech? Oh, you didn't know? He's valedictorian. No, he didn't tell me. So enough about that. Again, good morning to everybody, or good evening when you're joining. And thank you, Ashok from India. It's morning for me and evening for all of you. It's my first time going live. So if I seem a little nervous, I am. Also, if you see me looking to my left, it's because I have another monitor so I can read your comments. Let me just switch over to, let me see, so you can see me in full. So if I am looking to the left, it's because I'm reading the comments that you put as well. So thank you all for joining. Again, if you have questions, if you have comments, please put them in the chat. I will tell you, I'm not an English teacher, but a native English speaker. So I can kind of, if you ask, oh, how do you use this particular thing in English, I could give you examples. I'm not going to be able to tell you what's a dangling participle or anything because I'm not a grammar channel. Okay, first time I'm attending your program. What is your program? So, all right, let me tell you my program. What I do is I teach English in a natural way. If you want to check out videos later, what I do usually is I'll tell a story, but I'll also draw pictures. So I'll be drawing pictures and I'll use my hands. So I'll say, he said, or I was looking. So I try to tell a story in a natural way. I try not to talk too fast. So if I am talking fast right now, it's because I'm nervous. Usually I'm recording and I'm able to edit later. So I'm not able to edit. You might actually hear me make a mistake in English because even reporters make mistakes in English when they're live. That's just the way we talk. If we talk naturally, we're going to make mistakes when we're speaking. So the idea is called Comprehensible Input method. It's been around since the 1970s, and that's what I do. I make those videos, the ones where you'll see a drawing board. I have a camera looking down and a camera looking at me. Usually my daughter's on and she's drawing the pictures. And we're trying to tell stories in a way that it's easy for anyone that doesn't have any English that they could understand. So I try to use my hands. We try to draw pictures and try to make it so if you are just brand new to the language, you'd be able to understand. Again, sometimes I have to remember to slow down because, sometimes I would get nervous or I'll just forget that I'm talking to English learners. So, again, thank you. So, first time, again, going live. I've had a number of people that asked me to go live, so thank you so much for joining. You have an exam next month. Okay, Rocky, that's... So you're preparing, I would say that for exams, you are going to want to prepare on the grammar. And I'm sure there are lots of different other YouTube channels that can teach you the grammar, because grammar, I will not say that grammar is not necessary. They're necessary for the exams, right? It's a digital control system. And I have no idea how to say what country you're from. Maharashtra states. Okay. That is new for me. I have not heard of that. So thank you for joining. My English is very weak. So I can definitely help. The way that I help is to make videos. And if you have certain topics that you'd like a video on, I know that some of our viewers at Europe had given me lots of different topics. I asked for topic ideas. I know I've done some for Gustavo. I don't think he's joining right now from Venezuela because I believe he's dealing with some family matters. But in any case, if you have a particular thing you want a video on, I will try to do that. Okay, so you have a suggestion to create some videos with super hard level when you talk really fast. Okay, well, I think right now I'm talking really fast. I'm kind of nervous, so I think definitely I can do that. for you, for sure. This is how I would normally talk to my friends. This is how I would talk to people. And I'm trying to slow down, knowing that people are probably, we have, I think it's Ashok, who's a super beginner, I guess, and you are more advanced. So I try to remember to speak slower, but I definitely can speak just at the normal pace. I kind of feel like the conversation videos, if you check out the conversations, sometimes those are going to be at a faster pace too, because when you're having a conversation, you're just, I think myself, I'm going to tend to speak as I normally would speak to my friends. Let's see. So I also like storybooks. Storybooks. I love storybooks. So you can definitely do that. And I have lots and lots of ideas. This is a hobby for me. I call myself a YouTuber, but I'm a small YouTuber, right? I work full time in a high school, so I have lots and lots of ideas, but not as much time as all the ideas. But thank you. Please give me all of your suggestions. Kindly help me how to catch the British accent. Okay, so I can't speak in a British accent, but I would say the best way to like kind of really learn the British accent is to listen. The idea of comprehensible input is that you listen before you speak, so you can develop your ear for the language. And I would listen to all kinds of accents. I would listen to Australian accents. I would look for YouTubers in Britain. I would look for American YouTubers and be able to listen and develop your ear. I do the same. I actually am studying Spanish, and I will listen to people from Mexico. I'll listen to people from Spain. I'll listen to people from Venezuela and all over, and really develop that ear for the language. My way of teaching and learning a language is to really focus on listening before you try to speak, because the whole theory of comprehensible input method. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best one in the world. Other people have learned other ways, but the way this works is that you will listen for hundreds, if not thousands of hours before you start speaking. Because if you start speaking to people and you don't develop your ear for the language, you might develop incorrect ways of saying things. So that's why I really think it's the best idea to listen a lot before you speak, right? So, Ashok, Rocky, can you help me? Okay, so I would also suggest, if you're looking for people to practice speaking with, I mentioned it before, but for anyone just joining, a wonderful app called Hello Talk, which I actually met Gustavo, and I'll transition back so you can see Gustavo. I just read his comment. I met him from Hello Talk, and we actually will send each other voice messages and be able to practice that way. So you can meet people and you can arrange to do Skype or Zoom or anything with them. But at first, for me, I like to really start out with just sending voice messages and getting to know a person first. So yes, I am from America. I'm from Boston, near Boston in Massachusetts. I don't live in Boston. I live 1 hour from Boston. So that's where I'm from. And it's the Northeast. We tend to speak fast, and people from Boston will drop their R's, meaning like they'll say, I parked the car in Harvard Yard. Instead of I parked the car in Harvard Yard, they will drop those R's, right? So I'm not really from Boston, but that's the closest city that people from around the world probably heard of Boston. People haven't heard of like Worcester area where I live near. But basically, I live in Massachusetts, and we speak fast in this part of the country. If you listen to people from Texas or people from down south, they'll speak slower. If you have ever watched a video with my father, which I do have some videos where he tells some really funny stories, he speaks very slowly. Well, not that slow, but he speaks very slowly. Sometimes when I'm listening to him tell a story, I'm just like, come on, hurry up. But that's not the way he does it. He speaks very slowly. So let's see. We have Ashmir. What, according to you, is a good British accent? Okay, good British accent. You know who I love? I love watching British television, and I love like Mighty Python, which is super funny. And I think it's the actor Cleves. His last name is Cleves. He also was in a very funny show called Faulty Towers. So I would say British comedy. I love comedy. So John Cleese, I think it is. But any case, that would be like a good one. I would look for some YouTubers though. Like it's great to like watch shows. You're going to get more dialogue with TV shows than movies. In movies, it's going to be probably not as much dialogue. So I would say look for TV shows or YouTubers. One thing I do like about a TV show is you're going to get that dialogue between people talking to each other. So you're saying how much much different accents of the Americans themselves. So there is different accents throughout the country. Some people from like parts of like what we call Appalachia, which is, what is Appalachia? That's kind of like in Pennsylvania in the mountainous area. They're kind of hard to understand. I think it depends on the different parts of the country and where, like you have people that in Louisiana, there was a lot of French people in Louisiana. So their language is kind of like Creole. It's a mixture of that French and American. TV shows, I see Esmir asking for TV shows. I like comedy. Like there's tons of TV shows. Lots of free stuff you can watch on YouTube. But I love comedy. I would say I really love the British comedy that came out in the 70s and 80s with Mighty Python and Fawlty Towers. And I'm trying to think other British comedies that I love. But those ones, if you're trying to get the British accents, those are really good. American shows, Friends. I think Friends is one of the most popular shows to learn English. Or I think The Simpsons people like. You can watch The Simpsons to learn. I would probably stick to stuff like that, especially stuff where you actually see people like the Friends, because you can watch, you learn actually also from watching people speak, which is why I like to have, if I'm doing my videos where you can see me drawing, I like to have my face being shown so that way people can watch and learn, because you really do learn by watching the body language and watching people's facial expressions and watching them actually speak. So let's see. Search in Play Store. So Rocky, what are you searching for in Play Store? I'm not sure. Hello Talk you can find in the Play Store, and there's lots of really great apps to learn language. That's one that I like a lot. Okay, so let's see. So let's go on. If did anybody else have any other questions about English language? I can talk about I can answer your questions. I'd like to know, I think everybody's told me where they're from. If you can also be sure to like this video, that would be awesome as well. I'd love to have likes because that gives me motivation. Things that give me, like I said, this is a part-time thing for me. I work full-time. So what gives me motivation is to see people commenting, people liking the videos and commenting. That is helpful. And if you know of other people that are learning English, if you can share the videos as well, that would be awesome. But liking the videos, commenting on the videos, that's what really gives me motivation to continue making videos. Because as I said, it's a hobby, something that my daughter got me into. So getting those likes and getting those comments gives me the motivation. You wish to talk to natives, Esmir, again. Oh, Talking America, thank you so much for joining. I have Talking America is one of the channels that I feature, and I met Talking America on Hello Talk. So Esmir, you said you wish to talk to natives. Hello Talk. I would look for Hello Talk. That's where I met Gustavo, and I practice English and Spanish with him. I've met people from Spain there. You can meet people from all over the world on Hello Talk. It's free. There is a paid version, but you can use a free version. That's just fine. Can you tell me where to find dedicated? I think Hello Talk, because it is for language learners, dedicated language people that want to dedicate and be really dedicated for learning language. I would do that. And let's see. And you know what I do for Hello Talk is people will ask me all the time if I want to practice with them, but I really like them to spend some time looking for me, to look on my profile and say why they want to talk to me, because I think they're going to be more serious than just say, oh, do you want to practice Spanish and English? I think people that spend some time to actually write a little bit more than just, do you want to practice? that's who I'm going to respond to, because I find that's the people that are more dedicated. Also on Hello Talk, you can see if there's an active person that posts a lot of things, and you'll get to know whether or not they're going to be a dedicated person. So let's see. I really appreciate your Ashkoff. You say, I really appreciate, madam, for you helping all people learn English, and that's why I like you. Thank you so much. Hello Talk, thank you, Talking America. Hello Talk is a great app for chatting for people, for language exchange. I've tried other things, like there's like Pen Pal World, where it's free, but there's a paid version. And I met somebody from Mexico and practiced with her for over a year, ended up actually visiting with her family. So that was a wonderful way to make some friends. It was Pen Pal World as well. But I think Hello Talk is more dedicated to people that are actually trying to learn language. Asmir, you say, kindly type the first list of shows to help in English. Let's see. I will try to multitask. Okay, this is very fast paced for me. Let's see. I like Monty. If I can type Monty Python. I like Faulty Towers. Faulty Towers. These are the British ones that I really like. English, The Office, Friends, and those are ones that I really like. I'm not sure, like, as far as if you could probably find them for free streaming or something, or Netflix or something like that, but those are ones that I really like. Is there any difficulty for Americans in the old form of English? Oh, yeah, the old form, Shakespeare and stuff like that, or like Chaucer or the King James Bible. Yes, definitely. Those are difficult. Like Shakespeare, we always teach it. Like my son just had to, every year he had to learn, they read Shakespeare. And I think there's an importance to it, but at the same time, the only way I can understand something like that is to see it live in a play or to watch the movie. But reading it, no, people don't talk like that anymore. So, Trevor Noah, I love Trevor Noah. He's actually on hiatus right now, and I'm very sad, but I mean, happy for him. He says, now's the time, things are getting safer here in the United States anyway. It's time to go outside, and he's taking hiatus, so I love watching him. I hate it when he goes on vacation, but I do understand he needs a vacation. But Trevor Noah's from, if anyone's not familiar with him, he's from South Africa, and he has a show called, well, right now it was called the Socially Distanced show, but it's like, I don't even remember the Trevor Noah show, but it's a late night show, and I really love him. He's very intelligent, and he really tells things as they are, but in a fun way. And he has a book that's really good. I actually listened to it, so listening to books is another great way. And his book is called, one of his books anyway that I know of, is called Born a Crime, because when he was born in South Africa, it was under apartheid, so he is both part white and black, right? And so that was a crime. So his book is really good. I listened to it, and he reads it. Very good. If you want to have some suggestions for, I would suggest listening to books, and possibly listening and reading as well. You can actually find audiobooks on YouTube. People read them and make videos of them. So I will listen, for Spanish, I'll listen to like Harry Potter in Spanish. But the combination of like watching it on YouTube and using the subtitles, which are pretty good, they're not perfect, I think by watching those subtitles and by listening, it will really help to cement it in your brain more and help you, build up on your reading. But if you can't, like I like listening all the time when I'm out and about, I'm listening to, for me, I'm learning Spanish, so I'm listening to Spanish podcasts, I'm listening to Spanish news, I'm listening to everything Spanish, because I think part of comprehensible input method is immerse yourself in the language. So watch Trevor Noah, watch all these different programs, listen. You can listen with your phone, you can listen, you can have Bluetooth when you're walking, when you're doing chores in your house. Listen to the language that you're trying to learn. And so let's see, we have Old English, like, yeah, Old English is hard. I really am not focusing on Old English. I think all of that stuff, you can find it kind of translated into a more modern English. If you are looking to understand Old English, well, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to be able to help you there because I would find it hard to really understand that myself. Yes, Born a Crime, Trevor Noah. I really like that book. If you want books, everyone has different tastes for books. Some books that I love are Dan Brown. He has the Da Vinci Code and a whole bunch of different kind of like a mix of a mystery with art and kind of that kind of thing going on. Oh, English Finglish. Thank you so much. I actually was taking part in English Finglish's live this past Saturday. Thank you so much for joining me, Anad. Anad is from India, and his YouTube channel is a great YouTube channel to watch a lot of conversations. He has conversations with people from all over the world that are English learners, and he goes live. I don't know, English, how often do you go live? And Ashkash, you say, English speakers always help to, so yeah, I think it's helpful to practice with a native speaker. Like if you are trying to find a language partner and they're also learning English, it's probably not the best person for you. You want to look for somebody that's trying to learn your language and you're trying to learn English, so that way you can listen to how a native English speaker speaks, so you can learn the proper pronunciation, and you can actually help that person be able to listen to the native, whatever your native language is, right? So I, myself, if I'm trying to learn Spanish, I'm not going to practice with my neighbor up the road that's a native English speaker learning Spanish, because I'm going to probably develop poor pronunciation skills that way. But instead, now with this internet, right, we can find people from around the world, which is awesome, right? I found friends in Venezuela for me for learning Spanish, from Spain, from Colombia, all over, and the same thing, right? Before the internet, you were stuck with trying to maybe listen to a tape, remember those tapes, or a CD or records, if you wanted to listen to native speakers. So, okay, so I shall be live on Saturday and Sunday at 8 p.m. I think that's 8 p.m. for Indian time, and for me it was morning time, I think. So, yeah, 8 p.m. I'm not Indian time, so, which I'm not sure. I'm sure there are many time zones in India, just like there are many time zones in the United States. So, if English Finglish, if you want to put which time zone that is, and everyone follow English Finglish and subscribe and follow, because he has some great, he goes live twice. That's awesome. This is the first time I'm going live, and I'm not sure if it will be like a monthly thing or something, because it's summertime and, my kids are off from school and all that, but it might be like once a month or something, I'm thinking. But this is my 2-year anniversary for making this channel, so that's why I decided to go today, July 1st. Let's see. So follow English Finglish. He goes live quite often and has wonderful conversations. Hello, is it Zihan? Zihan, where are you from? And I apologize if I'm saying people's names wrong. I'm horrible with names. So I'm good. Thank you so much. There's only one time zone for all of India. Wow. That's, Rocky, you said there's only one time zone. Wow. Because the United States, let's see, I'm in the East Coast, so it's Eastern time zone. Then we have Central, and that's kind of like Michigan area, the Great Lakes. And then we have Mountain, where I was born, Rocky Mountain, Colorado, like John Denver, Rocky Mountain High. Well, I won't sing. And then there is California, so there's 4 time zones. And, Pacific. I think that Hawaii is another time zone, but I could be wrong there. I'd have to look at the map. So I think we have 4 or 5 time zones in the United States. Let's see. So Zahid introduced, I'm Rochelle, Dreaming English. I live in Massachusetts, United States, 1 hour from Boston, and I teach English like in a natural way. I teach it without teaching any what I call boring grammar. If you are needing to learn grammar for your exams, that's important for your exams, but I don't believe that it's the best way to learn the language if you want to learn to speak it naturally. So that's my way of teaching, is to teach it in a more natural way with like stories, pictures, and just by trying to tell stories to people that everyone can understand. So that's the way I teach English. If you want to learn grammar, there are lots of really good, in fact, I think one of the sites that I have featured on my, let's see, where'd my mouse go? Let's see. So here, I think this American English with this guy. This guy's an English teacher. He lives in Maine, so he lives north of me, like 3 hours north. He'll teach you grammar. But if you want to, and there's English with Mel, ESL. He's from Syria, and he teaches kind of similar to me. He's not going to teach you so much grammar. He's going to teach it in a more natural way. My idea for the channel was Dreaming Spanish. Dreaming Spanish, Pablo teaches Spanish with comprehensible input. So let's see. A mystery, the American letters are a mystery to you. So yeah, Yurvi from Pakistan. So I remember you writing that when you first saw the American letters, they were kind of like almost like you didn't understand them because you have different letters. Like, is it Russian that was the your native language at the time? Correct me if I'm wrong there, because I know my children's father is from the former Soviet Union, so I'm not exactly sure, but I think that you had the choice of learning either English or German, and you saw those letters, and they were like, you fell in love with them, and you wanted to learn English. So a great mystery to me, how do Americans write letters on paper? Are there rules? Are there rules for in letters? Yeah, I mean, there are rules. We don't write them on paper as much now, but let's see. We do have rules. I have these little note cards, if you can see them. I don't know if you can see them, but they have lines on them. So we would kind of write them in the lines. And when kids are in school, they used to have, like when I was in school, I would be graded on learning how to form my letters and how neatly I either wrote them in print or how I wrote cursive. And we would have a handwriting grade, right? So let's see. Thank you, English Finglish. Let's see. Okay, Ashkoff, you say, I as well have been watching some of your conversations. Thank you. I've been doing conversation videos almost on a weekly basis and posting those with people from all over the world. So that I've been really enjoying, meeting people and learning about people's culture all over the world. So that's been awesome. English Finglish, thank you. Then I have Zishan, listening skills in English is weak. How can you improve it? By listening more, but listening to things that you can understand. Like if you just turn on English news and you can't understand anything, that's not going to be helpful. That's why I think YouTube's really helpful, because you can actually watch a video and kind of get some context by what you're seeing with your eyes as well as what you're hearing. So that's probably a better way. Once you develop more of an ear for it, listening to news, listening to people that are making podcasts for people learning English would be helpful, because they're going to speak a little slower and probably in a more simpler English. That's how I think you really should, by just immersing yourself in the language. Like everything you do, listen to the news in English once you get there, but watch the news in English on YouTube and just continue to take in as much media as you can and immerse yourself in the language. So let's see, we have Rocky saying, you can teach Hindi. So yeah, okay, great. You guys can kind of, if you know somebody that's trying to learn Hindi and you want to learn English, you can kind of, have a language partner. That's an awesome idea. And then Talking America. I'm writing notes on paper in the office right now using a style called cursive. That's what I meant. Cursive. So we would have handwriting or print, I think we would call it back in the day, and that we would learn first. In grade school, we would learn from kindergarten, which is like ages 4 or 5, all the way to 3rd grade. We would be printing our letters, right? And in 3rd grade, in most of the United States, they would learn cursive. Now they're not teaching that as much because they figure kids are typing, so they don't need to know cursive. I don't agree with that. I think that it's helpful for kids to learn cursive because when they go to college, they could just, or anytime they want to write, just like you said, Talking America, you can take out your paper and write cursive very fast, but you can't always, what are you going to do? To be typing on this little, keypad you have on your phone? knowing cursive, which is basically connecting all your letters. Like basically you're writing a word like happy and you're not taking your pen off the paper for all the letters, Happy. It's all one continual pen, right? I'm not sure exactly how to explain that. But basically the letters are all connected, right? All right, so let's see. These are notes on the fridge. Okay, notes on the fridge. I'm not sure what that means, but okay, Zishan, you said, how can I help improve my English vocabulary? Suggest a book. So how can you improve your vocabulary? I mean, I would think, yes, there are lots of books. There's great books. One of the books I loved when my kids were young was Richard Scarry. He has the Great Word Book, I believe it's called. And there's like wonderful pictures, but by every single thing there is, the word is written next to it. So that's one way, picture dictionary. But for me, I think kind of more the watching the videos and kind of connecting it is also helpful. But if you're looking for books, there's lots of like great picture dictionaries. It depends on how you learn. If you're going to be somebody that learns, I'm just going to turn this off because if you're going to learn more from books or from note cards, that doesn't work for me, but you definitely could learn from, they have programs for your phone where you can index cards, almost like flashcards. If that works for you, there's probably flashcards. I think even Duolingo has kind of like a flashcard app where you can learn the word and the picture and stuff. Let's see. So Talking America, if you love a book in your language. Oh, that's a great idea. So that's awesome idea. What I've done is I like Dr. Seuss. I'm not sure if people are familiar with Dr. Seuss, but he has a book called The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, and I bought that book both in English and Spanish, and you can kind of learn that way by being able to see both books. There's also books that have the language in, like on one side is English and the other side is the language you're learning. So that's one way. Okay, please type the book here. So I don't know, like, what was I saying? I'll type the author that I like, Richard Scarry. I can't exactly remember the name of the book. I think it's called the Great Picture Book, something like that. But Richard Scarry is the author, and then Dr. Seuss books, like The Grinch Who Stole. The key to this would be to have the book that you already have in your native language, and then be able to buy that book or access a book online for free in English. That would be the key, so you can kind of compare the language and stuff. So let's see. Talking America says, listen to the same book in English audio. Yes, I think listening to books and audiobooks is an awesome idea. Like I said, I was listening to Harry Potter because I like Harry Potter, so I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I was listening to Harry Potter in Spanish, and I know the story. Let's see. Yuri says, we write the letters just as they are in the book. So you're printing them in, but there's also cursive. You can learn cursive. It's not used as much, but it's something you definitely probably find YouTube videos that teach you how to write cursive. I'm sure there are many. I like cursive. I think it's a better way to write, a faster way to write if you're going to write. But there's definitely videos on how to write cursive, I'm sure, on YouTube. And if there aren't, somebody should make a YouTube channel for that. So let's see. The only one novel, okay, the Married to the Devil's Son, I haven't heard of that one, but that sounds interesting. Like the first book I read in another language was Harry Potter because of the fact that I knew the story so well in English. And then I've done other books, like I started many books reading another language, but I never finished them. It's really hard to read books I think like the books like Harry Potter and stuff like that are probably written at what they would call like a 9th grade level. So I think those ones would be hard to get started on, but I think the ones that are made for children would be easier ones to read, like the Dr. Seuss books that I wrote Dr. Seuss already. He's got tons of books. Richard Scarry, those type of books would be easier to start with. How many books are you writing? I'm not writing any, well, I did write one book. In fact, if you look in my videos, there is a book that I wrote. I wrote it a very long time ago when I was in college, but I'm not going to write any more right now because I just don't have time. So, yeah, it was a book about a history of a building. Like, it was a dormitory at the college that I went to, and it was a women's dormitory, and I wrote it as a college project, and it was actually printed. So sometimes we all get sleepy. That happens to me. I get sleepy when I'm reading. In fact, now listening is much better for me. I will listen because I can be walking. I can be doing other things that I'm not going to get sleepy when I'm walking, right? So sitting, reading a book, I'm getting tired. So I'm not going to do that as much. Some people don't, but that's me. But I agree. Who was it that said that? Sleepy? Like, yeah, so Rocky, that's the thing. I get sleepy if I'm sitting, reading a book. So listening is better for me. And I think listening is ideal when you're learning the language because you're going to be able to listen to people, especially if you're listening to the official audiobooks. They are paying people that have very good pronunciation, that are very good at reading. So you're going to listen to the best, like English speakers that you can, because they're not going, in fact, the Harry Potter book, a fun fact about Harry Potter, I don't remember the name of the guy, but he does 150 different voices. He does 150 different voices for the different characters. So that's just amazing, I think. Do you watch movies? I do watch movies. I love movies. I don't watch them as much now, but I just watched with my daughter, we watched Apollo 13, Harry Potter movies, but I don't watch them as much because I guess I just don't sit as much. YouTube is better for me because I can watch a video that is maybe 5 or 10 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. A movie, I love movies, but I don't like sitting for 2 hours anymore, so it's a special occasion to watch a movie. Well, you have to get some work done, but thank you for joining Talking America. Thank you so much. And Talking America is another channel too. You can find it on my, you can find his channel on my page, featured channels. So definitely follow Talking America. And so that's, yeah. Let's see. So other movies. Does anybody else have favorite movies? I can definitely name many favorite movies. Most of my movies that I would probably name would be older because I don't watch many of the more modern ones. I think the most recent movie that I watched was Hidden Figures, which was this really interesting movie about African-American women that were really helping and really like made it possible for NASA to get that rocket to the moon. So that was, an amazing story, right? Other movies that I love, I mean, there's so many. I love movies from the 80s because that's when I grew up. Like Breakfast Club and Footloose, stuff like that. Movies with a lot of music, dancing, those were some of my favorite movies. And, British. People were asking about British. You know what I love is Pride and Prejudice. They had a really good series BBC did with Colin Firth. It's like 6 hours long. But there you go. There's some really wonderful. It's a little bit of an older English, but not Shakespeare-y. If you want to have good British accents, that would be good. And then I think Gwyneth Paltrow, she's from America, but I believe she is anyway. She can do a really good British accent, and she made some Sliding Doors. That is a British movie, and I love that movie. So Sliding Doors, I'll put that in the chat. Let's see. If I can spell Sliding Doors movie. So if anybody has favorite movies, put them in the chat if people want to get ideas. I like comedies. That's what I prefer. I mean, I will watch some dramas here and there, or like Apollo 13, I guess that was a drama, and it was based on a true story of like they were trying to go to the moon, but there was like almost a little bit of a disaster, and then they had to like do some thinking both on Earth and in the rocket ship to be able to figure out how they were going to get these 3 men back to Earth safely. So I like that kind of thing, but my favorite one would be comedies. I like that better. You don't know any of them? I'm sure you can look them up on the internet. I'm not sure where you can watch them for free or not, but those are the ones that are my favorite. But there's tons of movies and tons of movies in English because, I think, I'm not going to say that I know there's like lots of movies from all over the world, but tons of movies are made in the United States and in Britain and such. Anything else? I think I'm coming up to almost an hour and I'm probably going to end because I have to go back to my daytime job. So if we have some other last questions or comments, you only know Indian movies. One movie that I loved that was the only Indian movie that I did watch was based on Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice is a book by Jane Austen, and they had Bride and Prejudice. It was like basically a spin-off of that movie, and I can't exactly remember, but it was basically a Indian version of Pride and Prejudice. And I think I can't remember, but I did like it. So if you look up the Indian version, the Bollywood version of Pride and Prejudice, that was the one Indian movie that I watched. I liked it a lot. Yuri says, I personally think that we are all listening to speech of people of all ages as in real life. I personally think that we are to listen to the speech of people of all ages as in real life. What do you think of that? I do agree. And that's why listening, watching movies for me, I like to watch movies from all different time periods. Let's see. Right. Yeah. So I like to, and listen to people from all over the world. I think that's what you're getting at, to kind of all ages. I really love to learn about, the Middle Ages. I watched all kinds of series on Netflix, of that time period. And I love to learn about different places and different parts of the world and different time periods. All right. So, okay. Anything else? It's a lot of talking. So I work in a school, but I don't teach all day. I work one-on-one with students, and I now know what it was like for the teachers to teach. How could they teach and talk for 8 hours? Because talking straight for 1 hour, I'm really starting to have my throat get dry. But it's been a wonderful conversation, and I hope everyone has liked the video, and commented where they're from. I had no idea when I thought of going live, when I was asked by a number of people, I was wondering if I would only get 1 or 2 people, but it's been wonderful to see so many people take part and come and be a part of this conversation. And it's been fast-paced and a lot of talking. I thought, well, I need a backup plan in case no one shows up. My backup plan was to read a couple comments of people, but it's been wonderful that so many people join this conversation. So many people have joined the conversation, have commented, had questions. It's been an awesome conversation. And if I don't have any more questions, I'm going to say goodbye, and maybe I'll do this again in a month. But it's been a wonderful conversation. All right. So thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Yuri. Thank you, everyone that joined today. And be sure to like the video. Be sure to watch the videos. Be sure to send my videos out to other people because I want to help more and more people. And thank you so much. Thank you. As I would say in my Spanish, you would say, un brazo de oso, means like a bear hug to all of you. And so thank you so much. Hugs, and stay safe, and join me next time. I'll let you know like a week before I go live. Thank you all.